Okay, everybody. So this is kind of an overview on one, why you should be on Facebook. Well, you don't have to be, but for a business anyhow. And the difference between a Facebook page and a Facebook group. So I chose Spinolution brand spinning wheels. One, because I'm a dealer and it was the first thing that popped in my head. So we're just going to go with that. Because I knew they had a group. Basically, I knew they had a page and a group, and so I knew it would be a good example. So if you are on Facebook and you type in pretty much any brand you can possibly think of, and type it into the search bar, the first thing that's probably going to pop up is their official business Facebook page. And they all look a little different, but it probably looks somewhat like this. And I suggest that you definitely, for your brand, one of the first things you should do once you get some branding together is make a Facebook business page. And so, this one's obviously a great example because they're an awesome company, got their logo and their products. And then you've got some call to actions. Facebook lets you kind of customize how, what tabs are over here. But, if you wanted to know more about this brand, I know I do this all the time, especially with restaurants, like local restaurants. If, I'm searching something out, I'll search them here, and then you can usually find, if it's a local restaurant, like their hours of operation, their price range, you can find all sorts of useful things on Facebook business pages. So obviously you should have one of those too. It also, depending on the type of Facebook business page you have, you can get, have it where people can leave reviews. I've got that on my Facebook business page, and that's definitely really nice, especially if you don't have an Etsy shop, because Etsy, obviously people are giving you reviews. But if you just have a standalone website, this is a good place where people can leave favorable reviews for you. Photos, all sorts of different things. So I would say a business page is probably where you're going to see kind of the most basic, brick and mortar sort of information. You're probably going to see a lot of repost, probably from like whatever the store's Instagram account is, because you can link it pretty easily. A bunch of different photo albums that, are usually going to be more professional looking, that a company would want to publicize. Videos, etc. This one, and like I said, I chose this because I knew they had a group. Is a different thing. So a group is where, and I'm not going to stay on here too long because I don't want to show what everybody has, but a group is where it's different. It's linked off a page, and you can see real quick here, and then I'm going to click out of it, that it's individual people sharing a lot more information. So now we're back on the page. The benefit of a group and why you would want to set up a group and then link your group to your Facebook page is the Facebook algorithm is constantly changing, and it seems, and it may change by the time you see this, but the usual trend is that people get notified of what's happening in groups, in their little notifications, way more often than they're going to get notified of a business page. And I mean, just think about this yourself. How many random business pages have you liked from like Joe's Barbecue down the road? When you get on Facebook, especially if you have a lot of friends or the stuff that you're doing on there, the algorithm is always set up to show you what Facebook thinks you most want to see. So it probably thinks that you want to see your sister's kid way more often than you're going to want to see what Joe's Barbecue down the street is doing. So Facebook business post, and they want the businesses to pay for advertising. So Facebook business posts are, your followers and people who like your page may or may not see it. Whereas a group, if you're in any groups yourself, you probably know you get up here in your little notification columns, especially if you have friends in the same group, a lot more notifications of like, so-and-so said whatever in this group. So it basically is just a lot easier for people to actually see your post without you having to pay for advertising. And groups, just by nature, are much more social, as you just saw when I quickly clicked over there. Then, this is pretty much the business is posting things here. And yes, I could post something here, but most people aren't going on there and doing that. Groups are much more of like hey, look at this great hamburger I just had at Joe's Barbecue. We're having a great time. It's much more of a social place to share, or they're usually involve people that all have a common interest. My Facebook group all has people that are making things out of yarn, so there's a lot of question asking and joke sharing and that sort of thing, which is what keeps the group going. And I really love it. Like, it started out slow, but I've got people, like, half the time I get in my Facebook group and it's like exciting for me because I'm like, ooh, let's see what everybody put in here. Like, it's not something I'm having to be the engine for. So that is definitely, like I said, a business page is if you type in a brand here, pretty much everybody has a business page. A group, not all business pages have them, but I highly recommend you have one. So, if you sell, I don't know, jewelry, you might want to have a group about, gemstone knowledge, or, definitely make the group something that is social yet related to what your business is. And, so it's not just like fans of my jewelry, but it needs to be something that's much more of a social sort of super popular social media tool that people either love or hate and completely don't understand is Instagram. And I'm obviously showing you Instagram on my computer for the sake of doing the screen recording, but basically everybody Instagrams on their smartphone or tablet, but you can access it through Instagram.com. So what you want to do is you can have either a personal or a business profile. I like having a business profile just because it gives you a lot more tools as far as like linking it to a Facebook page and analytics and that sort of thing. So, you can always have a separate one for your business and then one for yourself if that's what you want to do. But, this is my Instagram profile, and I mean, I have a decent amount of followers, but, I'm definitely not, like 10 million or anything. But the general rundown on Instagram is it is a place where you share pictures, and then people are able to see them and like and comment on them. It's great for business, obviously, because, you can promote. I can promote this wheel or this particular yarn, but the point is you want it to be pretty pictures. And mine has some of my family and myself in it as well. And my dog, of course, because she's very cute. But you don't want it to look strictly salesy, like nothing but like, buy this, buy that. But you also, you want it to be, if people are following Crafty Housewife Yarns, they're probably following it because they found me on YouTube or Google or the internet, and they are generally interested in, yarn, patterns, spinning wheels, that sort of thing. So, I mean, that's what it is that they want to see. So I put in, a few what we're up to ones, but for the most part, it's, patterns, different projects, and let's see. So this is probably a good example of, this was a yarn that was for sale. It is not anymore. But, so I described what the yarn was. I mentioned that at this time there was a coupon for it. And, people are able to see it that way. So that would be an example of like a more direct sale, like, call to action, here's some yarn post. Whereas this one is actually where I made a collage of pictures that other people, you can see their profiles, have taken of things that they made using our products. So that's kind of a, show off all my friends and what they're doing with our products, which is also a good example of like, hey, look, you could do this. So doing something like that is a good idea, of encouraging like community. And I throw in some funny ones, just from time to time. This is promoting another project that a designer I love made with some of our yarn. So, you can see where that's linking back to her, actually, because she's the one with that. So these are just examples of different, I have a podcast called Gin and Spin, so that's why the gin is relevant. But, like I said, this is technically like a fiber club we do every month, but this is also a picture that is very appealing to people who like to spin. So on your smartphone, you would use edit the pictures that way. And so this is my profile. If I'm on This is called your Instagram feed, and this is where you can just see, in mine, of course, is a lot of different yarn and weaving and tapestry stuff. These are all accounts or hashtags that I follow, so that I can, when I get on here randomly, I can scroll through and see, what other people are making. So that is, the idea with that. You want the whole thing with hashtags is hashtags, the general idea, and here we'll use this one example, is they will help you get found. So you want to put, things on here that would be relevant to whatever the picture is, because, so bees. So if we click on bees, then the hashtag bees has like a bajillion pictures relevant, and they're all of bees. So that's one way that people use Instagram as kind of a search engine is, what is it you would want to look up? Let's look up pottery. And then it gives you options of, Pottery Life, Pottery Barn. So let's see what Pottery Life is. I'm assuming it's going to be, yes, people who are potters and they're like digging their life. So this is a good way to do some market research too, is by searching hashtags that are relevant to your industry to see what it is people are excited about. So that's the whole deal with hashtags. So if you're wanting to reference, the @ symbol is like for I'm at craftyhousewifeyarns.com. So if you want to tag me in a post, which is basically just drawing my attention to the post to be like, hey, look, I'm talking about you in this post, then you would put @. I'm trying to find one where so if I wanted to tag, at Renee Crochet Designs, and I was typing a comment, then I would go at Renee, and type it all out that way, and then type like my message to her. So if she was my friend and I wanted to be like, hey, check this out, I would hit @ and type in their name, and then whatever, a space, and then whatever my message is. So the @ symbol is a way to basically tag a friend, so that they then get a notification to come see what it is you wrote. So that's like making a message here. Whereas the hashtag is like you're basically logging whatever it is under a subject. So like the wheel this is spun on is a Spinolution bullfrog, and it is a knitting yarn, so that's the subject that I was linking this to, is yarn that could be used for knitting. So that is a quick rundown on different ways to use, just assuming very basic on, using Instagram on hashtag versus @. There's many more trainings out there if you get on YouTube for, Instagram. One thing I do like is it's this website called Linktree, and it's spelled funny. It's like right here, so just copy it down. linktr.ee, and you can go, and it's free, and you basically just, you'd fill this out on the back end. But the idea is that Instagram only gives you one link to add to your profile, and I obviously have lots of things people might want to know about, so I can add all these different links to that one link, so that you could click that, you could get to my website, you could get a coupon, you could find out about our monthly subscriptions, you could go to my YouTube channel, and so it looks way neater to just have that one link, this one link here that opens this page instead of, well, one, Instagram wouldn't let you, and two, it would be really ugly if on my profile I had like 18 links. Like it would just, everybody would be like, what is this? So that's also just a free, slick thing to do for Instagram. And so I know that's super basic, but this is my approach to somebody who doesn't have Instagram or doesn't really use Instagram, and why they might want that for a business.